valve thing I showed you before, there is an actuator selection on there too for the dampers. So you'd actually say, well, I need a damper that's even a damper this size, and here's the actuator you need. I believe you divide it by 7. So, if it's a so many square feet, multiply times 7, it gives you your actuator foot pounds. And it's different depending on whether it's a closed blade or parallel.
Is pneumatic still an option?
Yes, it is. It's not on these lists though. On the fast it is fast track, but on the other one, that valve, actually it only had electric. Fast track does have pneumatics on there. VFD and did the valve actuator too. How many here do economizers? Jade economizer, or any of those that do stuff? Yeah. Did you ever put economizers in? I know most of you guys are in the controls, DEC, and economizer is part of the controller. But there are a lot of systems out there that have standalone economizers. And all the economizer does is bring in outside air for free cooling. That's right, economizer. It's required by code over 5, in some areas it's over 5 tons, some is 7.5 tons. But on the larger systems, you should have economizers for fresh air and for cooling. Now we have some demos online for the Jade economizer and how to use it. Also how to calculate, and I didn't put that in here, and I should have, the energy savings. How to calculate energy savings with an economizer. That is a great tool, and I apologize for not putting it on there, but once again, you can download that from the website. Once again, there it is. Got an older tool online, but basically the same. So here's the first page. Of course, you put the job name here, and this English units versus international units. Gases in therms or in CCF, whatever. Currency is US dollars. The site. Let's see if I got Indianapolis. Yes, I do. Indianapolis. Let's say it's a small office and it's 10,000 square feet. Frame construction or concrete or block. And which code are you meeting? We use the newest stuff, the actuary standard. And I can use the default building characteristics. Oops, I put some down in the bottom. Make it 10,000. Now, is it AC and a gas furnace or AC with electric heat? Here's my choices. The cooling EER, the heating efficiency of 80%. Damper leakage, we're going to use no leakage right now. These are going to be perfect brand new dampers that you're putting in. Okay. Now, if you're going to a building that did not have a setback at night, a night setback stat on there, and you're proposing that, I'm going to take that off the list here and say we're not using that. Occupied will be 70 degrees for heat, 65 is unoccupied. Maybe I want to make that a little more aggressive, make it 62. Cooling, occupied is 75, unoccupied maybe an 85. If I have a CO2 sensor, 1,100 parts per million, or I can use defaults. Occupancy, I'm using the default occupancy, and if you look in here for an office building, that means at midnight it's not occupied, 6 a.m. it's going to start to get occupied, at noon is here, and so on. That's my occupancy standard. I can change that around, you know, it's occupied 24/7, I can make this all 100%. And I believe weekends are unoccupied. And how many people per square, I'm using the default occupancy. That has to do more with the CO2 levels. I'm using a CO2 sensor. And what's my energy cost here, do you know? That low?
5 cents.
5 cents a
Depends
gallon?
on whether you're residential, commercial, or
Let's say commercial.
6, 5, 6.
Okay. So like 6 cents. See how it says in ag, it's like 13 cents. So you guys get a bargain here.
We're still cheap here.
Yeah. Demand, $10.
Easy with that word cheap.
Peak. I know, I gotta put off peak and on peak is same right now. And this is where you put your costs in, how much you charge to do this. And then you click on, oh, gas rates. How much per therm, do you know? $6? Throw a number in there. That's what it used to be back 10, 15 years ago. So, yeah, you get a bargain here. This has always been a hard place to sell energy management. The fact that your energy costs are so reasonable there. There you go. I don't know why you have to hit the calculate button. I guess it makes it more dramatic. Here's your savings. So, I'm going to print it. Oh, I hit the button twice. It changes the print. And you can print this out and hand it to your customer. Since it came off a computer, it has to be true. And go in here. So this is the base. This is where we're starting. Gas, therms, this is how much you're using on a typical standard system. And there's no savings here because that's our base, that's where we started. Now, if I add a setback stat, my cost savings is about $2,000 per year. If I add the dry bulb changeover, it's $2,700. If I add the enthalpy changeover, it's $26.94. You notice? Enthalpy isn't saving me money here. Enthalpy is comparing temperature and humidity instead of just temperature, because I guess the weather is dry enough here that your savings isn't as much. I don't have any payback here because I didn't put a cost in there. If I had put the cost, what it would cost to install, you'd see a number here for payback. So, so the demand control ventilation now is $3,867 in savings. Dry bulb and that together is $4,000 a year in savings. And if I add enthalpy, I actually spend more. So I don't want to do enthalpy here. And if I have differential enthalpy, that means I have two sensors comparing outdoor with indoor. And so long as outdoor is better than indoor, it will bring it in my savings figure. So if I took an economizer and outside air sensor, return air sensor, discharge air sensor, probably new dampers, put a new damper on, actuator, put it all as a kit. I could probably put that in for a couple grand. Easy. I got a 6-month payback.
And that's based on that normal occupancy curve?
Normal occupancy curve. And you can change that around to match whatever the customer has. Is that total?
That first column on setback,
Yeah.
how many degrees for how many hours is that defaulted to?
I had to go back to the thing, but yeah, I had put it in there based on that occupancy.
I'm just curious what the default was.
Yeah.
You can blow that out of the water real easy if you don't have it set
Right, if you don't have that set right, or if there is no setback, you know, if it's 24/7 operation. Typically, you have that in the factory and in the offices, you know, you have standard hours. And that would be under the occupancy. So this would be right here. In weekends, right now it's predicting weekends just occupied between 6 and noon.
Can you change those on there, Steve, or do you have to?
I'd have to